Hello, married scholars. What's happening today? I have a story for you guys. I went to visit my friend one day, and as we are talking, there were some other women there, and we are all gisting, now. So during the course of the gist, we are talking about how we are hustling in our businesses and trying to make money, for ourselves and all that. Because she's running her own business. Of course, I'm running mine and all that. So we are sharing ideas and everything. So before long, the conversation moved towards buying properties. So she advised me to buy properties in my name. And the funny part is that after buying these properties, I should not let my husband know about them. So I didn't know how to come into the conversation because I myself am not a strong believer in such a thing. All right. So I now asked her, but why do you think is necessary? She said I should do it to protect myself, maybe from eventualities of tomorrow, uncertainties and everything that she herself, that's what she does, that she has some properties in her name and the husband doesn't know about them. So I felt somehow, okay, I didn't want to argue with her because we are in a public place and there were other people, and I really don't like when we argue over things, especially based on other people's perspective and experiences in life and all that. So I just kept quiet. But I told myself, is this the right way to go as a married woman? All right. I was thinking about it and I decided to talk about it. When the lady advised me on, buying these properties in my name and hiding it from my husband, I didn't really take it serious. In fact, after the whole program and everything, I forgot about the advice, and then, continue living the way I used to live and what I believe. Now, 3 days ago, I was, browsing through Oriental Times and their posts, and I stumbled upon a post where a lady, just shared a post talking about how she buys properties in her name and her husband buys properties in his name. And she was saying everybody should buy properties in their own names, even when they are married. I was like, this is getting serious, okay? And I decided I want to talk about it. If you read down her post, she continued saying that buying properties in your respective names doesn't mean you guys don't love each other, and it wouldn't break any marriage. Like, even if you guys buy the properties in your names, it will not break your marriages. Of course, she mentioned how they do the same thing in her own marriage. She buys properties in her name, the husband buys properties in his own name, and they love each other and they are open to each other. They know each other's properties, they are not hiding the documents and everything. The husband says, your properties are yours, after all, you suffered for them and everything. Now, even though it works for them, maybe that's how they started it and it's working for them. I personally, I don't believe this is the right way to go about this buying properties of a thing in marriage. First, let me talk about this from the biblical perspective. In Mark chapter 10, verse 8 to 9, you can go and read it, where the Bible was talking about two people coming together to become one in matrimony. That means immediately you got married to someone, you and that person, you are now one, all right? And oneness, I don't even know how people interpret this oneness. Oneness, even in everything you own, in your, even the body, the everything just becomes one. There's nothing like this is my own and this is your own and everything. Yeah, I know when it comes to maybe responsibilities, people say the man should provide for the wife because he is stronger. Of course, we are not, you can never dispute that. A man is stronger than the woman. So the Bible has placed him, above the woman to be a protector, to protect her. Not like he's supposed to be marching on her. No, to protect her because his own strength is, bigger than that of a woman. Okay. So even though we say, okay, men, these are your responsibilities, and women, these are your responsibilities, it doesn't mean that these things are separated. When you get married to someone, you guys are one. You have things, everything you own, whether she owns it, he owns it, you guys have it together. In fact, you own it together. There shouldn't be a kind of this is my own or this is your own, especially when it comes to these properties we are talking about. I know somebody may say, what of some women who usually say, your money is our money, while my money is my money? It's also very wrong. I'm not an advocate of that. All right. Even though the man keeps his money and he's not giving it, to you to be the custodian of the money, and you are keeping your money, you are not giving it, you are not handing it over to your husband to hold and everything. It doesn't mean that his money is the one that is supposed to be spent, while your own is the one that you should hoard. I don't even know for what reason, right? Yes, you are supposed to be a helpmeet, as the Bible said. So whether his money is abundant, there are times he will not have money. So you are expected to also support him. So that's your money is our money, my money is my money. Thought is from a stingy woman. Like, I mean, like any woman who is stingy will rush to use that phrase, okay? So this one is not applicable in this, all right? Whatever you could own as a couple, since you are one, you guys should do things together. And this is what makes marriage, work. There's another biblical point I want to also make. In Matthew 6:21, the Bible said that where your treasures lie, that is where your heart will be. All right. What you treasure is what you really, really put into your heart, and that's what you prioritize. Okay. That's why you see, they say love comes with giving. Anybody who loves you gives you. They are willing to share. They make sacrifices to show they love you. Real love, let me use the word, real love comes with giving. Giving is not just material things. Giving your being, giving your whole heart, giving your life where applicable. That is real love, which because it's not evident in today's relationships and everything, many people are wondering if real love exists. All right, but when you talk about love and you say I love this person because the poster said something, that it doesn't mean you don't love and everything. Let me tell you, when you guys begin to have your properties differently, you are dividing your hearts, because according to this verse, where your treasure is where your heart will be. There's no two ways about it. You're already dividing your heart. Yes, she said something that they buy properties together and everything. What happens to the ones you are buying separately? Who are they for? What are they for? Is it just to have this feeling of security? Why do you think you need to have the feeling of security if your mind and your soul, body and spirit is vested in that union as it is supposed to be? You don't really need to be afraid of maybe tomorrow he will kick me out, or tomorrow she will misbehave, or you see. By the time you guys start protecting yourselves from what has not happened, you are already creating division in your heart. Everybody will be focused on how to protect themselves individually, instead of how to protect each other as one person, which maybe because you have now gotten married, you are now one. So imagine that every day as a wife, I don't even think about anything concerning my husband, even though I'm making a lot of money. Okay, just imagine a situation where the woman is earning more than the man, and I'm buying properties in my name alone. What happens to the man? Sometimes we have families like that where the women are the breadwinners and everything. Now, if we are to follow this pattern of protecting ourselves, that means the man will have nothing to hold together as maybe what he has achieved and everything. Yes, I know the woman is not supposed to be the person achieving. What if that's the case? This is the case of a woman who is earning more than the husband. What if the woman is now a housewife, which of course we don't, support. But let's say the woman is the housewife taking care of the family, and then the man is the person who is earning all the money and buying all the properties. And now maybe he decides to protect himself, maybe because of what the society is all about and maybe what's happening around him and all that, and buys properties in his name. Of course, I've seen it happen where a man bought properties in his own name, and it took a lot of interventions before he even agreed to add his wife's name to the property. And what happens to the poor woman in the house? Yes, everybody should hustle, but whether we like it or not, the men are the head of the families, and they are supposed to even make sure they protect their family, both in properties and providing food for them, and making life easier and livable for them. So if the man will now focus on buying properties in his name without adding his wife's name, what will be the fate of that woman tomorrow? For two people to live together and maybe for many years, it needs love, patience, understanding, and all that and all that and all that. But you see, when we allow our focus to be placed only on how to protect ourselves from hurt during the course of the relationship, maybe married life and everything, we will lose the main beauty of companionship, which is what marriage is all about. Let me tell you something. Let me put it this way: you will not understand the importance of marriage in the life of a man or a woman until they get to that age where they will not have many people around them. What do I mean? Even though you have 5 kids today, there will be a time when those children will leave the home. Those children will have their own life partners, and you will be left alone. Unless you have your wife or you have your husband around you, it will be two of you together till death do you part. Let me tell you, this till death do us part doesn't come to play when we are young, vibrant, and we are hustling and everything. The children, we are giving birth, we're training them and everything. This till death do you part is when you have finished hustling. You are not as strong as you used to be. The children, you've trained them, they have gone their separate ways and all that. That is when you will understand what it means becoming one, staying together, having each other's back, supporting each other till death do you part. So even though this pattern may be working for the person, the barrister who posted, who made the post, even though she's seeing it as something that is working for them, when we come down to earth and tell ourselves the truth, that is not the best practice when marriage is concerned. A lot of people will share, so many terrible experiences about their own married lives. But it's very important that we learn not to bring these things as if this is how marriage is supposed to be. No, there are people who enjoyed their marriage all through their lives. And when they tell you the kind of experiences they had, you will get to understand that maybe you made a mistake, or you didn't, do what you're supposed to do, or you didn't put in the sacrifice enough. Let me tell you something. Love is all about sacrifice. That you love someone doesn't mean that that person is a perfect person. No, what you are loving is both the perfection and the imperfections. And unless you understand this, unless you've come to realize and accept that no human is perfect, but that I love you means I am ready to, first of all, recognize it that you are not perfect. Second, itemize or identify those imperfections and then decide to accept them and learn to live with them. You've not started understanding what love is all about. So you cannot tell me or convince me that you love someone and then you guys are pursuing your own goals. Like, it's not even aligning. Yes, they say we have our properties and everything. No, there's still division somewhere. And because of that, you will not feel the impact of that love from that relationship, whether you want to accept it or not. So even though sometimes we tell everybody to do what is working for them, like she also said, this is not a marriage advice. Do what is working for you. Even though we accept that everybody should do what works for them, let's not forget the real reason why we come together in matrimony. And let me tell you, apart from the children and all that, the main reason you should come together with somebody and say, let us get married, is to get someone, your own person, to share the rest of your life with. This is the joy of marriage. I told my husband one time, I said, you, guy, me and you in this marriage, we go marry am. So, we're just like, gisting and teasing each other. I told him, I'm not going anywhere. See, me and you in this marriage, we go marry am, sote our heads turn white. You understand? Like, I've accepted him as, to me, he is the person I am going to spend the rest of my life with. Look, even these children we have, these children, you spend your time, your life, your sweat, everything on. They will leave home. Do you know they are not the people you're going to spend the rest of your life with? Even if you have sons today and you train them and they grow, they will create their own family. Your daughters will create their own families. So you see, at the end of the day, the person you are choosing to marry, the person you eventually get married to, is the person that will spend the rest of your life with you. That person is who your husband or your wife is. This is exactly why you should be careful when choosing. That's why I brought in this. Remember, bear this in mind. If you're not married and you're listening to me, please don't forget what I'm going to say. Don't focus on a husband that will take care of me. Don't focus on, I need a wife that will take care of me, or a husband that will, give me, that will have children with and everything. No, always have this mindset. Someone I will spend the rest of my life with. Funny enough, some people marry at the age of 20 and they live till 70. Now, when you check how many years they stayed with this particular person, you see 50 years together with this person. That's what marriage is all about. That's why I'm always saying, please choose right. Make sure you choose the best person for you. Don't think of other things. Forget about the money. Forget about other things. Think about, can I stay with this person for the rest of my life? Now, if you have chosen this person to live with you for the rest of your life, don't come and be playing politics in marriage. Don't come and be playing politics in that relationship. It's not going to favor you. No matter what you acquire now, no matter what you think you have done to protect yourself, there are some things that may draw you back in life, and you will see that I didn't even prepare anything at all. I mean, you could make so much money now that you're young and strong, and then one sickness comes and then ridicule your effort. All those your money, all those your properties, you will not even have the health to enjoy them or what. Yeah, we are not praying for that. God forbid. But wait, those people that it happened to, were they not praying enough? I mean, didn't they say God forbid? So there are things you think about in life. This person is who I am going to spend the rest of my life with. What am I investing? What about our relationship? Can we stay together in years to come? So don't spend so much time focusing on how to protect yourself against your spouse or maybe against misbehavior, unless, let me come to this, unless you got married to a Jezebel or a Goliath. Of course, nobody will quarrel you in those instances, because of course you have to protect yourself. So if you didn't marry a Jezebel or a Goliath and you're now trying to bring in the approach that maybe those who married them are bringing into their marriage to protect themselves, are you not like making a very big mistake? You are. Why did I bring this unless you married a Jezebel or a Goliath? It's because we cannot, even though we are saying this is how marriage should be, we cannot overlook the fact that some women are facing a lot of issues and some men are facing a lot of issues, regarding this same topic now. Like I read on social media, of course, I don't know whether there's truth in the post or not, but a man fainted because he discovered that the house he's been living in for many years and paying rent is actually owned by his wife. When he discovered that, he fainted. All right. So, in this kind of situation now, the man will regret. So this woman has been, hiding things from me and maybe have been open and everything. Who knows? Maybe the woman decided to do this because of the character of the man, or maybe the woman decided to pick somebody's own approach to protect herself against what has not even happened. So there are so many things to think about here. But at the end of the day, nobody is right when we do things that way. This is not what marriage is all about. Okay. Now, I've also seen a situation where, at least I know the person it happened to. A woman put in everything with the husband, investment and all that, but she didn't have a child. And one day she was coming back from work. The gate was shut, against her. She couldn't enter the house again. The man said, "Take your things and leave. You don't have a child. I'm going to marry another wife for, to have babies and all that." So the woman now left crying bitterly and then started all afresh. So you see, in some of these situations, I still believe that even though we can understand these things happening because of human nature, that doesn't mean I will start now, like personally, start buying properties in my own name, hiding it from my husband so that maybe my husband doesn't push me out of the house tomorrow and all that. No, you don't do that. Instead of just deciding to start doing these things because maybe other people are doing it or because of what other people have experienced and all that, given that we have different situations and circumstances in life and everything, and maybe you've made a mistake of maybe choosing the wrong person for you, and you've discovered that maybe your husband or your wife is the wicked type, of course you can protect yourself. Okay. But if you really love this person and you really have the heart of love for this person, there is no need to go to that extra mile of maybe buying properties and then hiding it from him or hiding it from her. But if your husband or your wife have started buying properties in his or her own name and doesn't want to accept this maybe joint ownership of properties, there's nothing stopping you from buying your own properties too, because everybody is now on their own. But let me tell you, in such a home, there is division. That is not marriage at all. So it depends on what you are passing through. It depends on who you got married to, okay? It depends on what you want to do for yourself and your own heart, all right? If your heart can carry it, because whether we like it or not, there are some good-hearted people and there are some bad, wicked-hearted people. Nothing can change that. Nothing can. I've said that in one of my videos about finding real love. Some people are just wicked, while some people are loving. So I don't even know. When you meet a wicked person, it will be hard to get real love from that person, because that he or she is wicked is not personal, it's a general thing. So if your spouse is already buying in his name, on her name, you can go ahead and buy in your name. Or maybe you have a situation where you think that maybe tomorrow my husband may push me. But please, yes, sometimes childlessness. But I've seen some people who stayed together for 20-something years before having children. So you just don't, because of some things like that, and then you start, doing things that are outside what marriage is all about. Please, I'm always saying this. If you know you are not ready to get married, don't get married and then live a very wrong life inside marriage and then use it and be deceiving people and confusing people. Marriage is a union of two people coming together. union, they come together to become one in everything. That's how it should be. So if your marriage is not like that, you are not doing, in fact, your union is not a union. It's, should they call it cohabitation, or I don't know, you guys are roommates and everything. So don't judge marriage based on your own situation alone. That is not what marriage is all about. Personally, I think I'm blessed in my marriage. Hey, yes, I'm one of the luckiest women who got married to the right man. Maybe that's why I'm saying this. It's not like I've not had my own, share of challenges and disagreements. Of course, but I love my husband and he loves me. So even those disagreements, we find our way to, push them one side and continue living. Remember what I told him? This marriage, we go marry him. I and him. No, nobody's leaving anybody. We are going to stick together to the end. And I pray it's the same for you and your spouse, maybe now or in the future. I'll be seeing you in the next video.